So what is up, guys? So today is like the last day of my little vacation here in Florida, but I actually just picked up Steffi last night from the airport. For some reason she wanted to drive up with me. I don't know who would want to sit in a car for 20 hours with me, but here she is. So
I don't want you driving alone.
That's true. So we're gonna wash the Z. It is absolutely filthy and I feel bad because this thing is gorgeous, so I'm gonna make Steffi help me here.
It's so much prettier in person than online.
Yeah, this is Steffi's like first right-hand drive car experience, so this is kind of cool.
It's so cute. It's gonna be so cool when it's all black and just lowered and...
Sorry, Adam, I'll try not to use too much of your fancy soap. Alright, so it was literally as soon as I finished cleaning the car, it started raining, and now my car's gonna be dirty again. Just my luck. Adam literally has everything.
That looks so official.
It's electric. I've never seen an electric one before. This is cool. So I haven't really talked about the car too much yet. I did roughly that one night, but I kind of want to go through the car right now so you guys get an idea of what it is. So this is a 1990 Nissan 300ZX Fairlady Z. So in Japan they call them a Fairlady. Here you can call it a Fairlady, but it's not technically a Fairlady. So this car is basically identical to a USDM version of it, besides the fact that it's on a right-hand drive, not left-hand drive. So not only is this car almost immaculate for how old it is, it only has about 50,000 miles on it. So this car is a 2+2 automatic NA. So what that means is there's a 2+0 and a 2+2 model. The 2+0 has no back seats, the 2+2 has back seats. As you can tell, that has massive back seats right now, but on my Red Z, which is a 2+0, right here there's basically a rear deck lid and then the hatch starts. So the car is actually 6 inches overall longer in the rear end to make up for the seats than the 2+0. So the car is decently longer. So these cars come from the factory with a 3.0 V6, either naturally aspirated or twin turbo. This one is a naturally aspirated model and it happens to be automatic. They do come 5-speed, but not this one. Though the Japanese version isn't much different than the American version, the previous owner of this in Japan actually did a few cool things to it that makes it a little bit different. So the first thing I noticed was the wing. So this spoiler in the United States only comes on twin turbo models, but in Japan I guess they basically come on almost every single one of them, so it was kind of cool to see it on here. But on top of that, the previous owner actually put a twin turbo front bumper on here. So in the United States and Japan, NA models and TT models are different front bumpers. The only thing that varies is the venting in the bumper right here. The NA models, there's no venting. It's just like a solid smooth panel. For the TTs, it's vented. This is essentially for the intercoolers. The TT model has 2 little side mount intercoolers and this allows air to go to it. But the Japanese dude put a TT bumper on it. I already mentioned it before, if you guys didn't see in the last video, was the headlights are actually different than USDM headlights. So this is a really common swap in the US to do because they're a lot cleaner looking. As you can see, these headlights are perfectly smooth. They're very nice and clean looking. There's not a lot of diffusion in them. The USDM ones have a little bit more diffusion in them, and they have 3 molding tabs on here that I guess are used to line the headlight, but these don't have it and they look a lot cleaner. Another cool thing I noticed in the front end was the previous owner actually put bigger horns on this thing. I don't know, I guess like honking at each other is more important in Japan. But they're all fancy, look at that. Came from Japan on a set of 2-piece wheels. The name is Intellis, whatever it is. This is actually a small company that made wheels in the early 2000s, late 90s, and they just happen to still be on the car. They resemble a BBS LM almost identically, but it's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite wheels, so having like a clone of it's pretty sick. The previous owner actually put on an Apexi catback, which is insane. The Apexi exhausts are very expensive, and as you can see right here, little Apexi symbol. Car's still really quiet, but it kind of opens it up a little bit. I don't know, but those are really rare, so that's pretty cool. Another thing about the front end that's a little bit different on the Japanese model is the turn signals right here. So on the USDM models, this piece is actually orange, and the Japanese ones are a lot more attractive because it's all clear, so it really cleans up the front end. That's a very common swap on American cars, I guess people do. That's why one of the first things I did to my car was buy the Japanese turn signals because it looks really clean. So these are actually pretty rare, so that's cool. On the front end on the Japanese models actually come with turn signals on the fenders. In the USDM version of this car, there's no turn signal here. It's just nice and, you know, flush. They do this with a lot of Japanese cars, like the FD only has these in Japan, and I think the S chassis had these in Japan, but not the USDM cars. So another cool thing the previous owner in Japan put on this car was a little brake light cover. That's sick. It's just a little overlay that goes on the rear third brake light. That's really cool. So let's go into the interior. So the interior isn't much different than a USDM one besides on the right. There's a cool little features on here that is a little bit different. A big thing that I'm a little upset the car doesn't have anymore is actually the switch for a parking pole. If you guys looked at my previous videos, I actually found one and put it on my 240. It's essentially a little pole that comes off the front left corner of your bumper, so you get able to see where your bumper is so when you park you don't hit something. When the previous owner replaced the front bumper, I'm assuming they just didn't replace the parking pole. But of course, other things are different, like the temperature is not in Fahrenheit, it's in Celsius. It's not miles per hour, it's kilometers per hour on the gauge cluster. So little stuff like that. Besides that, the interior is basically the same. There is one cool feature that I thought was sick. I just figured it out like a couple hours ago, and it's the mirrors. They actually fold in. I knew a lot of cars in Japan do that, but I didn't think this one actually came with it, so that was a really cool thing to find out. Another feature with the Zs, not just the Japanese Zs, is they're actually T-top cars, if you guys didn't know that, which means essentially the roof comes off. Really easy. Look at that. Steph loves this feature.
I'm obsessed with this
I never
part.
usually take them off. I forget that the roof actually comes off, but it's a really clean look, and it makes it feel like a convertible without the, you know, lameness of a vert.
Yeah.
And easy as that. So the interior also has a cool little feature that the previous owner added, which is some fancy little floor mats. These things are like shag carpet. It's really nice. I tried Googling the company and I didn't really see anything come up, but it has a pretty badass like style to it. And the rear mats are red for some reason. As far as the engine compartment goes, there really isn't much different. The only difference is everything's switched. Like the battery's usually on the driver's side, you know, and everything else. What I did notice though is the previous owner did convert the headlights to an HID, so you could see like the ballast right here and over here. And he also put a security system in it that I think is like half ripped out, so all the stuff is still here, but I don't think any of it actually works. So when people import cars to the United States, they usually buy them privately, and when you buy them privately, you kind of get some like cool little trinkets here and there, because people, you know, leave stuff under the seats, they leave stuff in the glove box, they have like a little bit more accessories here and there. This one was actually bought by a dealership in Japan, so it was already kind of gone through, like really clean, so all like the little like cool stuff was kind of removed from it and cleaned up. Like the dealership probably removed the headlight covers and stuff like that, but usually when you get a private sale one, you find some cool little trinkets, but no worries, this thing's still sick. Huge shout out again to HP Logistics for hooking me up with the car. This thing is insane. I'm so excited to build it. I've always wanted a right-hand drive car, and let alone this thing. This is sick. So if you guys have any questions about all this right-hand drive importing stuff or want a car for yourself, I'll put their link in the description. Make sure you check out their website and see what dream cars they have in there for you. Steffi, do you want to drive your first right-hand drive car? All right.
I'm so excited. I'm just like so pumped right now. I don't even know if I can like back out of the driveway and not be in the grass.
First impression?
It's weird. It's my left hand. It's my left hand. Oh my god. This is so weird. I'm gonna go so slow. Look at this. Oh my god, this is so strange. Oh my god! I have to push down to turn right. That is weird as heck. Oh my. Oh, that wasn't that bad. Oh my god, that car went really cool.
So the blinkers are on the right side because you're supposed to use your blinkers with your non-shifting hand.
But to turn right, you need to push down instead of pushing up. I feel like I'm 16 again.
What do you think? First impression?
It's weird. The blinkers are weird. Everything's weird, but it's really cool. Really cool. Everybody should try this out because it's super cool.
And now we're sitting on a curb eating food.
It's gonna
I really like these wheels. I want to relip them. I think it'd be really cool to keep these. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know if you guys think I should just relip these things. Like, I think I might. If you guys have any other questions on the car, please just ask in the comments. I'll try to get back to as many of you as possible. But yeah, I hope I gave you a cool little introduction to the build. We got so many more changes to come that I cannot wait to do. So this car is going to be a completely different car in just a few weeks. So I hope you guys are excited as I am. But I guess that's it. Steffi just had her first right-hand drive car experience. And I think she enjoyed it. I guess that's it. We start our journey back to CT either tonight or tomorrow in the morning. I don't think we haven't decided yet, but we'll be back there soon, ready to turn a wrench or two. So I guess that's it. So you guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.